All right, it's on you, brother.
This is Psalms 32, verses 1 through 8. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom Yahweh imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my ruin all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned in the drought of summer. Selah. I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. Selah. For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto thee in the time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah.
Amen, amen, amen. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the feast. We're going to go through some scriptures today, brothers and sisters. Some of the things you've already heard, some of the things you may not have heard, but we're going to go through them. I like to say welcome everybody on the live feed to the Order of Melchizedek Ministries, Feast of Pentecost, Feast of Weeks. I do want to, before we get started, we had a lot of brothers and sisters that were coming down from Indianapolis. They called me and they had a medical emergency. They actually they were only were here in Illinois. They had to stop and they had a medical emergency. They had to take one of the brothers and sisters to the hospital. So we want to lift them up in prayer. I know we got Sister Edith here. I know she expressed her brothers in the hospital. We're going to make sure we keep them lifted up in prayer. So as we keep this feast, I want y'all to always keep in mind your brothers and sisters worldwide that need your prayers. We have to always be praying. We have to always be fasting at some point in time because Israel's going through and we need all the prayers and support that you can get. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. The title of today's lesson is The Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, the First Fruits, and the Harvest. Because this feast has many manifold levels of wisdom, prophecy, and metaphysical truth. The metaphysical truth that could be manifested in your life only if you do what the scriptures say and go about the way the scriptures say do it, because not only is there prophecy in the law, there's prophecy in the New Testament as well that has yet to be fulfilled. But we're going to look at a little bit of this stuff today. I'll try not to be long-winded today. So the first thing we always want to address, because it's a bad thing going around in Israel, can we keep the feast if we're in our land? And before we read scripture, the first thing I always tell them, the first 40 feasts were not kept in the land. The first 40 feasts were kept in the wilderness. The first Passover was kept in Egypt while we were still in captivity. So when anybody tell you can't keep the feast in the land, the first 40 feasts were not kept in the land. That's not biblically sound, biblically correct. And when you go over to the land that's being run by Edomites and Khazars, there's no temple there. There's no Levitical priest there. There's no nothing there. So why are you running over to the land to keep the feast? And we're not even in our land. And there's not even a temple there for you to go up and observe the feast day. So, but in any case, the first scripture we're going to go to is in the Apocrypha. It's Tobit. We're going to go to Tobit 1, and we're going to read 1 through 12. We're just going to look at some things about keeping the feast while you're in captivity or not in your land. So we're going to pick it up at the one, brother. Tobit chapter 1 and verse 1. What do you say? We're going to read verses 1 through 12.
The book of the words of Tobit, son of Tobiel, son of Anael, son of Aduel, son of Gabael, of the seed of Asael, of the tribe of Naphtali, who in the time of Anamessar, king of the Assyrians, was led captive out of Tishbe, which is at the right hand of that city, which is called properly Naphtali in Galilee above Asa.
So this brother was from the tribe of Naphtali. So this is during the time of the Assyrian captivity. And we know the 10 tribes were taken out thousands of years before the southern kingdom was. But this brother was from Naphtali. Go ahead and read.
I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice.
Right.
And I did many alms deeds to my brethren.
So this brother was a commandment keeper and doing charitable acts. Go ahead.
And my nation, who came with me to Nineveh and to the land of the Assyrians. And when I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribe of Naphtali, my father, fell from the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, that all the tribes should sacrifice there, where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was consecrated and built for all. So
he going up, even in captivity, he said that, they were going up to Jerusalem to keep the feast, where the temple was. Now I'm going to reiterate again, ain't no temple over there right now. So what you running over there for? There is no temple in Jerusalem. The Edomites haven't even built the temple that they going to stand in. So once again, he said where he said his name at, but there ain't no temple there now. But continue to read, bro.
Now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal.
So they into devil worship. Go ahead and read.
But I alone went out into Jerusalem at the feast, as it was ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree.
Now, so this brother is in Assyria. His parents and his forefathers that fell off, but he's making that journey as it described in Numbers. In Deuteronomy, he's going up to the feast. But go ahead and read, bro.
Having the first fruits and the tents of increase, with that which was first shown, and them gave I at the altar to the priests, the children of Aaron. And
you can read about that in Deuteronomy 16. He's not only keeping the first fruit feast, but he's also giving the first fruits to the priests, which they were commanded to. But go ahead and read, bro.
The first 10th part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another 10th part I sold away and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, had commanded me.
Go ahead.
Because I was left an orphan by my father. Go ahead. Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man, I married Anna of mine own kindred, and of her I begot Tobias. So that was a
custom amongst Israel, even amongst Israelites. You didn't even marry outside your tribe. You weren't supposed to marry outside your tribe. If you were from Naphtali, you had to get a sister from Naphtali, Gad, so on and so forth. So we had nations within the kingdom or the nation of Israel. You weren't even supposed to go to the next tribe to get you a wife. So this brother was a law keeper from top to bottom. He kept the feast. He gave the first fruits. He stayed within his own lineage, the whole line. This brother kept the feast and the commandments all the way through. But go ahead and read.
Verse 10. And when we were carried away captive to Nineveh, all my brethren and those that were of my kindred did eat the bread of the Gentiles.
That's prophesied in Hosea, but go ahead and read.
But I kept myself from eating, because I remember God with all my heart.
That's it on that. So one thing I want to point out on that last little bit there, no matter who around you is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, that don't give you the license to do or not to do. Because your family members or your friends don't understand what you're doing, that don't give you a license. He said his whole family fell off. And he said, I kept doing and serving the Most High God. But roll over to verse chapter 2, bro. We're going to pick it up over at chapter 2. We're going to read verses 1 through 6, just to get the context of the brother now keeping the feast in a foreign land. But go ahead and read.
Now, when I was come home again, my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost.
The feast of what?
Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks. That was a good dinner prepared me. Yes, sir. In the which I sat down to eat.
So now we didn't read the whole thing, but this brother was doing charitable works and he got in trouble with the king. So the king tried to kill him and lock him up and all this, that, and the other. And even after they took his money, they took his family away from him. Once he got restored, he went back to Assyria. So he's in captivity in Assyria, and his wife had prepared the meal, the feast of the Pentecost, for him in captivity.
Right.
You can go back and read the whole chapter 1 of the book of Tobit, and you will see he went through a whole lot of drama for doing good works and keeping the commandment. And when he went back home to where he was in Assyria, and his wife and son were restored to him, he still kept the feast of Pentecost in a foreign land. Go ahead, bro.
I want to ask something. Like y'all see, they in captivity, they at the house keeping the feast. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, say if we, you know, if we want to part of no assembly, you know what I'm saying, you can, that's allowable according to Tobit too, because a lot of people say, well, if you not with us or you not at a congregation, you not assembly, then you going off, and that's not true. Right. We see it right here in Tobit too. They was in captivity, keeping the feast at home.
That's right, brother. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah, verse 2.
And when I saw the abundance of meat, I said to my son, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren.
Out of your what? Brethren. See, it can't no everybody just run up here on the feast day. He said, go find somebody, a poor man of our brethren, to bring to the feast of the Lord. Go ahead and continue to read, bro.
Who is mindful of the Lord.
And you can't even go just get no any Israelite off the corner. If he ain't got no mind to serve the Lord, he has no business being here, because we're going to get into the mind, this metaphysical of this feast. Because once you come out of the unleavened bread and you get used to living unleavened or sinless or blameless, then your mind should be different. Your walk, your vibration, your motives should be different. That's why he said, go find somebody who has the mind of our brother to serve the Lord. Because unleavened bread represents living without sin. And right after unleavened bread, after you get used to living unleavened, you're supposed to be able to have a different mindset, a different way of life, a different motive on how you move. But continue to read.
But he came again and said, Father, one of our nation is strangled.
Right.
And is cast out in the marketplace. Then before I had tasted of any meat, I started up and took him up into a room until the going down of the sun.
So his son went out and told him, look, man, I found somebody, but I found one of our brothers. He out there strangled in the streets. So he put his feast on pause and went out and took care of his brethren. So when you out riding about and your brother, your sister roll up on you at the gas station, at the store, asking you for this, asking you for that, it ain't your prerogative to find out what they trying to do with that money. It ain't your deal. Because here's the other thing in Deuteronomy. The book says if the poor crowd against you, the Lord gonna hear him. So if you doing disservice and you walk off and you say get a job and all this stuff like we like to say, and that poor man and that poor woman crowd against you, don't be wondering what happens when the drama comes. So always look out for that type of situation. But go ahead and finish it out, bro.
Then I return and wash myself.
He did what?
Wash myself.
This brother is keeping the law from top to bottom. He stopped what he was doing. He went and buried his brother. Then he went and washed himself and did what?
And ate my meat in heaven.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Remember that prophecy of Amos, as he said, your feast shall be turned in the morning, and all your mirth in the lamentation.
So he quoted Amos. So I just wanted to throw that in there. This brother kept, when he was going up to Jerusalem, he kept the feast, and when he was in captivity, he kept the feast. Don't never let nobody tell you, if you ain't rolling with us, you can't keep the feast because you ain't got no assembly. That's the first thing they're gonna throw on you. Don't be fooled by that bewitchery. All right, so now we're gonna get into the divine command of the Lord. Because this is the divine commandment, divine instruction. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get into some prophecies that's in the law that that I started looking at and started seeing. Then we're gonna get into some of the metaphysical truths of the law. So the first place we're going, like we always do, Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23. We're gonna read verses 1 through 4 and verses 14 through 21. I left a copy of the lesson notes on each table because he and I, we may go a little bit too fast for some of y'all, so you already have the notes if you ain't able to flip as fast as we are. Leviticus 23, 1 through 4, my brother. What do it say?
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord.
So these are the Lord's feasts. These ain't the Jews, the Hebrews, and nobody else. These are the Most High's feasts. Go ahead.
Which he shall proclaim to be holy convocation. Even these are my feasts.
In the second time, go ahead and read.
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
Yes, sir.
And holy convocation. You should do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling.
I always like to say this. These ain't no suggestions of the Most High. These are not things, nice things to do. These are not things that you can do if you feel like it. These are the commandments of the Most High. He is not just having you do something just to be doing it. These are teaching points. These are things that we need to take in consideration in our day-to-day lives. But go ahead and read that verse 4.
These are the feast of the Lord. Even holy convocations.
Did it the third time, so he mean business. That's it on that, bro. So he said, in all your dwellings. Again, just disproving the point that you ain't got to go up to Jerusalem to keep the feast. He said, in all your dwellings. Where do you dwell in? You dwell in Memphis, Tennessee. So when you get to Memphis, Tennessee, you got to keep the feast in Memphis. You can't get up to Jerusalem. So right. So if you're in Mississippi, if you ain't got no assembly, travel up to where you got to travel to keep the feast. And it's the reason why he telling you to keep these feasts. These are appointments. These are divine appointments. You don't miss your doctor's appointment, your eye appointment. You make sure you there. These are appointments. When he said these are my feasts, these are my appointed times for you to assemble yourselves together, come up and learn what I got for you to do. All right? Skip down, brother. Shalom, sis. Skip down to verse 14, read 14 through 21.
And he shall eat neither bread, nor corn, nor green herb. Until the self-same day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings.
Now, a lot of brothers around, there's a doctrine around, a lot of brothers try to separate the feast days from the harvest, but you can't. And the reason why you cannot separate the feast days from the harvest is because they have a tremendous meaning. This is the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, which is going, when we get down into the lesson, it's going to be symbolic of the first resurrection when Yeshua will get back. So you cannot separate the feast, from the harvest. That's right. You can't separate one. You got to have both of them. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't so when they tell you, like some camps teaching, we having the feast days this time, well, you ain't got no green ears of corn, so how you going to have the first fruit? You ain't been living sin free. So how you going to make the first resurrection? Same thing. This is what the Most High is trying to teach us in these high days. There's certain things you're going to have to be about to get there. And if you ain't in that first harvest, you just going to have to wait around till the second resurrection. Simple and plain, but continue to read.
Verse 15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, even 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
That's why we sitting up in here today. Because when you brought the wave offering was when? It was Passover. And then after Passover, you had the 7 days unleavened bread, and you start your count then. So we sitting up in here on the first day of the week, because it's going to tell you tomorrow after the Sabbath. He just read it. Continue to read.
Even unto the morrow after the Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord.
What kind of meat offering?
A new meat.
Now, you know what? That stuck with me right there. I'm going to take a pause for the call. New meat offering. You gave the first sheep. You should wave the first sheep before the Lord. He said, you got to come up with a different type, a different offering. Unleavened bread. You live 7 days unleavened. 7,000 years unleavened. When the 7,000 years is complete, the ones who made it gonna be in the first resurrection. The metaphysical part of that is when you live unleavened for so amount of time, some things ought to be elementary to you. You ought not be doing things the same way. You ought not be moving the same way. Your mindset ought to be changed. That's that new meat offering unto the Most High. So if you still doing the same thing you were doing last year this time of Pentecost, something wrong. If your mind is clicking the same way it clicked this time versus last year Pentecost, something wrong. You ought to bring a new meat offering. Continue to read.
You should bring out of your habitation 2 wave loaves.
2
deals.
And
they should be a fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven.
Now we're gonna get into these feasts. I mean these sacrifice and offers in another lesson. But all this has definite meaning. But we ain't got time to get into it today. Continue to read.
They are the first fruits unto the Lord. You shall offer with bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year.
Go ahead, bro.
And 1 young bullock and 2 rams. And they shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord.
Go ahead.
And with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire, sweet savor unto the Lord.
All these things mean something, but he said it should be a sweet savor. It ought to be acceptable. It ought to be pleasant to the Most High. And if you coming up in these feast days with a all against your brother and sister, backstabbing, hate, malice, envy, because the book says where envy is jealousy, y'all, there is confusion in every evil work. And you know, a lot of people keeping these feast days, they keeping the letter of the law, but spiritually, in the way most high, it ain't acceptable unto him. So if you coming up in these feast days with all this drama going on, pretty much you wasting your time because it's not accepted. We come in the feast days with all kind of stuff going on in our home, how we dealing with our wives, how we dealing with our husbands, and you think the Lord going to accept that. He said a new meat offering. You got to sacrifice some things. You ought to be able to sacrifice your pride, brothers, to deal with these sisters untreacherously. Sisters, you ought to be able to humble yourself to deal with your husband as a humble, virtuous sister. The same thing that's tripping you up shouldn't be tripping you up from year to year. And then you're going to come up in the feast and then throw your hands up to the Most High. We're going to read that. We're going to read that he ain't accepted. But continue to read, brother, 21.
Then you shall
Yeah, read 21 for the sake of time. Read 20, because we got to get that.
And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord.
Yeah.
With the 2 lambs, and they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest.
For the who?
For the priest.
So the priest is going to wave this. So Yeshua is going to present you before the Lord, before the Father, after he presented himself as the first of the first. He is the first of the first fruits. We're going to come up after him when he descends upon this earth. He is the first of the first fruits. But go ahead and read, bro.
21.
Read that 21.
And ye shall proclaim on the self-same day, it may be a holy convocation unto you. And ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
He keeps saying it again, throughout all your dwellings in all your generations. He keep hammering the point home for a reason, because that doctrine is out there that you can't keep the feast if you ain't in our land. So anytime somebody, you tell them to read this when they bring you that doctrine. They banging that doctrine, tell them to read this and explain this to you, because they're gonna tell you, well, we ain't in the land, brother. We can't do that. Not so. Let's go to the next place. Deuteronomy. I tell you what, let's go to the Compact Bible Dictionary. I'm gonna get a couple of definitions, because this feast is known by many things, and we titled the lesson: the Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, the Feast of First Fruits, and the Feast of Harvest, which we just read all that in these first couple of verses. But we're gonna get it out of the Compact Bible Dictionary, page 173. Read that little bit that's highlighted there, and that little bit that's highlighted there, brother. Because it's important that we know what we're doing and why we're doing these things. Go ahead.
The Feast of Pentecost, or Feast of Weeks, was celebrated 50 days after the Passover.
We just read that. Go ahead.
The feast lasted 1 day and marked the completion of the wheat harvest, at which the 2 loaves of bread made from the new grain were offered to Yah.
Okay, now we still mentioning these 2 loaves. And these 2 loaves are very, very important too, because they were made from the first fruits. And if you go and read about the temple service, you read about the 12 cakes. These 12 cakes, only the high priest could eat those cakes. And these loaves were presented with the high priest and to the high priest. We'll continue to read. That's it on that. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 16, brother. Deuteronomy 16. We're going to pick it up at the 8. We're going to read 8 through 12, then we're going to skip. Deuteronomy 16. We're going to read verses 8 through 12, my brother. When you get it, go ahead and read.
6 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt do no work. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee.
Now notice this is coming right after unleavened bread. He said 6 days shall you eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day, which we did, was the last day of unleavened bread. He said you should do no work in. Then he said 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Continue to read.
Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time. Thou beginnest to put the sickle in the corn.
Oh, did you see that? Did you catch that? When you put the sickle into the corn. So there's a harvest that comes at Pentecost. There's a harvest that's coming. The reapers are going to reap a harvest. Continue to read, bro.
And yeah,
at verse 10.
And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with the tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee.
And see, we don't do tithe over here. You want to give a free will offering, we'll gladly accept it. But hey, it's on you whether you do that free will offering. It ain't between me and you. It's between you and the Most High. Go ahead and read, bro.
And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God.
Now thou shalt come in solemn, saying, rejoice before the Lord your God. This ought to be a happy, joyous occasion because it's representative of the first resurrection. If you make that first resurrection, you in there. You ain't got no money. You ain't got nothing else to worry about. You should rejoice before your God. Continue to read, bro.
Thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou, thy son, thy daughter, thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates.
Go ahead, brother.
And the stranger.
Now, we dealt with this yesterday in class about this stranger, but we ain't gonna get into all that right now. But hey, go back and look at the lesson on that. But go ahead and read, because a lot of people won't say, well, you know, they ought to be able to come up to the feet. No, they ain't with this thing. We went over this. We got a clear understanding of who can participate in the feast. Now I gotta ask the question, just not to prolong it. Who is he talking to? He's talking to Israelites. He ain't talking to Hamites, Edomites, Gentiles. He ain't talking to them. And when you look at that word of stranger, that is a newcomer to the region. That is a newcomer, that is an Israelite that's not from that tribe and not from that area. It ain't the Gentile stranger. Go ahead and read, bro. You in the middle? Yeah, go ahead.
And the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God have chosen to place his name there.
So, you know, I had somebody hit me with this, but brother, he said in the place where he chooses to set his name. So I asked that person a question. What is your name? Ain't your name Israel? What are you made out of? You made out of dirt. So if you go to Exodus 20, he tell you how you ought to build a temple or altar. He tell you build an altar out of brick or out of dirt, how to build it. Your name is Israel. His name is in you. So that don't even hold water. So all these things that these people gonna try to trip you up with, brothers and sisters, go make them read and understand the scriptures, not what somebody told them. Because if your name is Israel and he said you are holy people under him, ain't his name dwelling with you everywhere you move? Then he said, present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Most High. Did he call you a nation of priests? So if the priest is there with the name of the Most High, and he able to do spiritual sacrifices? It's elementary when you start looking at something like the young bro always say. He quote the other elder. Most of the doctrine that these people have out here is hospital gown doctrine. They look good and covered from the front, but when they walk away from you, say rear end is uncovered. It's hospital gown doctrine. Ain't got no substance whatsoever. Because they going on what they teach to say and they pass to say, but they can't read it to you. They can't precept. The book say 2 or 3 witnesses. They can't do that. So why you listening to them? Well, it just sound right, brother. It just seems like that ought to be the way. No,
gotta be right coming from this, brother.
Yeah, he. Well, let me stop. I was just finna go. But hey, let's keep moving, bro. Where we at? Read it, man. Did you read 12? I read.
And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt.
Yes, sir.
And thou shalt observe to do these statutes.
Mm-hmm. All right, skip down to verse 16, bro. Read 16 and 17. What do it say?
3 times in a year.
3 times in a year.
All thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place.
So, brothers, let me explain something to y'all. The Most High does not operate out of order. Everything good or bad that come to you, to your family, got to come through you first. He do not operate out of order. So ain't no need you doing like Adam did and pointing over there to the woman. Because when he came in the garden, he was not looking for Eve. He called out Adam's name. So when it's time to go to the feast, you best be making your way to wherever they have it at, or you better have one at your house. He said 3 times a year shall all males appear before him. Go ahead and read, bro. Mm-hmm. In the feast of unleavened bread, which we doing today. Uh-huh. And if you ain't kicked in on nothing on this feast, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what you need to do. You better get to getting. He said, you shall not appear before the Lord empty. Don't come up in here and you ain't did nothing, because then anything that come out of the Most High mouth is not, like I said, it's just his command. He said, don't appear before me empty. Continue to read, bro.
Every man shall give
as he is able.
Of the Lord thy God,
but brother, you got to give me a 10. You got to give me that tithe money. He said, as much as you are able to give. That came out the mouth of the Most High, that he gave straight to Moses. And this is this in the wilderness? This in the wilderness. So we are order Melchizedek, right? Is the Levitical priesthood in effect right now? That's why he didn't tell them give him no tithe money. And Levitical priesthood ain't operating right now either. So when they tell you, I need that 10, I had one jackleg preacher down in Memphis said he want 15%. He want more than the Lord want. So again, tell them to read it. Read it. That's all you got to say. Go to the next place, bro. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers. And we're going to read it. We're going to pick it up in 28, chapter 28. We're going to read 25 through 31. Yeah, Numbers 28. I want to show y'all something right here. This is what I've been talking about. But when you come before the Lord now at Pentecost, your mind, your state of mind, your vibration ought to be totally different. Every time I see one of y'all the next year, the vibration that you moving with ought to be different. Shouldn't be the same. I shouldn't be talking to you, or you shouldn't be talking to me about tripping up over some of the same thing you were tripping on last year. It shouldn't be. And if it is, we need to examine ourselves, brothers and sisters. These feasts are important. These feasts are check marks for you to check your walk, to check yourself. 28, bro. Pick it up at the 25. What do it say? Uh-huh. Right back at the end of unleavened bread, but go ahead and read. Also in the day of first fruits. When you bring a different type of sacrifice, a different type of lifestyle to the Lord, go ahead and read. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, bro.
Offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord.
2
young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year.
Of the first year. That's important. Go ahead.
And their meat offering of flour mingled with oil.
Now, the flour that's mingled with oil should be you. The oil that this flour should be mingled with is the word. Now, if your conversation is about what you was about when you was out in the street, you ain't mingled with the right oil. If your conversation or the things you struggle with this year was the same as last year, maybe you need to check and see if you got some oil in your lamp. Maybe you run a little dry. Because if it is, then this feast that you at It's for nothing, because he said it has to be a sweet smelling savor that's going to be accepted by the Lord, because he said the prayers of a sinner are an abomination unto him. And also says it's like a smoke in his nose. It's irritating to the Most High. So if you ain't keeping no law, letter or physical or spiritual, I mean, if you ain't keeping no law, letter or spiritual, your sacrifice is abhorred by the Most High. John 9:31 says, for we know that God heareth not sinners, because they're going to tell you, well, the Lord hears sinners' prayer. Not according to the scripture. Not according to the scripture. John 9:31 said, for we know that God heareth not sinners. The book of Proverbs said the prayers of a sinner is an abomination unto the Most High. We'll continue to read, bro. Yeah.
Several tent deal with one lamb throughout the 7 lambs.
Go ahead, bro.
And one kid of the goats to make an atonement for you.
One kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. Here's another metaphysical truth. Here's a spiritual truth that is sure. When it came time for atonement, you had the 2 goats. You had the one goat where the priest laid his hands on his head and transferred the sins of the people on that goat. And you had the other goat that was let out into the wilderness by a fit man. We're going to get into a little bit of that, but go ahead and read.
He shall offer them besides a continual burnt offering and his meat offering.
Oh, a continual burnt offering. Man, I can always pray and not cease. Now, you ain't got to answer this question, because I can answer for you for myself. How often are you praying to the Most High? How often are you inventorying yourself against this book? A continual burnt offering. You know why he said a continual burnt offering? Because the book tells you in Proverbs that the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Now, if your offering ain't mingled with oil, if your offering ain't acceptable to the Most High, what are you continually putting up before him? Are you continuing putting up hate, malice, envy, strife, bitterness? Is that your continual offering? Because he's looking at you all the time, Israel. He showed you that in the temple with the 12 loaves, the showbread. The priest set them before the Lord every day. He set those loaves before the Lord every day. Those 12 cakes representing the 12 tribes of Israel. He looking at you every day. He checking your mind. He checking your actions. He checking your thoughts. So if they ain't adding up, when he cracked that sky open, don't look to be in the first resurrection. Don't even look to be in it. Continue to read, bro. That's it on that. Let's go to the next place. Let's go to Genesis. Because I was doing some reading when I was putting this lesson together, and I found the Feast of Weeks of Pentecost in the law, bro. There's a prophecy in the law. Go to Genesis 1. Go to Genesis 1. When I read it, it tripped me up, man. It did something to me. Genesis 1, we're going to pick this up at 11. We're going to pick this up at verse 11. And we're going to read verse 11 and 13. Now, you got to have your spiritual eyes on to see this. You got to know what the Feast of Pentecost is about to see this. You got to know about the wave offering to see this. Genesis 1, pick it up at 11. What do it say?
I said, and the earth bring forth grass,
and
the herb yield the seed, and the fruit yield a tree. And the fruit tree yield, yielding fruit after his kind.
After his what?
Kind.
After his kind. The fruit tree got to yield his fruit after his kind. That's why we was telling y'all in the class, you can't graft a peach tree to an apple tree. It's got to give the fruit after his kind. Once again, keep reading, bro.
Whose seed is in itself.
Whose what? Seed is in itself. Now we're going to read 1 Corinthians 15 in a minute. And we're going to see this. Go ahead.
Upon the earth.
Upon the who? So they ain't going to heaven. Okay, go ahead.
And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind.
Right.
And the tree yielding fruit.
And what yielding fruit?
Tree yielding fruit.
Hey, we supposed to be trees of righteousness. What the book say we supposed to be. And you supposed to be bearing some kind of fruit. People ought to be able to eat off your tree. And you ought to be able to give an increase. Go ahead, bro.
whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
And what does 13 say?
In the evening and the morning was the third day.
In the evening and the morning was the third day. Now, what happened after 3 days and 3 nights? What happened? Yeshua got up out the grave. Jesus got out the grave, didn't he? And he said he's the first of what? Many brethren. Because he's going to give a seed after his kind. The Bible says when we see him, we shall be like him. If you be so blessed to make that first resurrection. So even in the scriptures, even in the law, the prophecy of the first fruits of the Pentecost, a seed bearing seed after his own kind, was in the prophet. The prophecy was in the creation. So every time you look at this book, you ought to be looking at it different. Because if you can't see that after the third day, when Yeshua got up out the grave, that he did what he ascended unto heaven, and he said, we're going to be like him at Pentecost, because everything was given his seed in itself, right? So let's go to 1 Corinthians 15. We're going to vary for a little bit. Go to 1 Corinthians 15, bro, and pick it up at the 20. 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 20. 1 Corinthians 15. We're going to come back to 1 Corinthians later on in the lesson, but we pick it up at the 20. What do it say?
Now Christ is risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept.
And become the first fruits of them that sleep. Go ahead and read.
For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
For as in Adam all died, so in Christ shall all be made alive.
But what?
For every man in his own order.
But every man in his own order.
Christ the first fruit.
Afterwards,
they that are Christ.
And they seed bear seed after his own kind. Christ the first fruits, and everyone that come after him in the order. So once again, we right back at Pentecost again, but let's keep it moving. Let's keep it grooving. We'll get to this food. Isaiah, the 1. Isaiah the 1. Isaiah the 1, bro. We touched on this when we opened up. We're gonna hit it, we're gonna read it. So nobody won't say, hey, he just talking. Isaiah the 1, pick it up at 1. We're gonna read 1 through 4, then we're gonna skip down and read 10 through 19, my brother. Isaiah the 1, go ahead and read.
Vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Go ahead.
Hear heavens, O give ear, O earth, for the Lord has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children. They have rebelled against me.
They have rebelled against me. Go ahead.
The ox knoweth his owner. And the ass his master's crib.
But what?
But Israel does not know. My people does not consider.
Just in case you missed it, the Lord called you stupid. You ain't smart as an animal. He said, the ox know where he lives. Even the donkey know. He said, but my people, they don't even consider. So just in case you missed it, I just want to reiterate that the Lord just called y'all stupid. Me too. All right, go ahead and read.
Sinful nation.
A sinful nation. A seed of evil, dude. Yeah.
They have forsaken the Lord.
Yeah.
They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away back.
They are seed of corruption. And over in the Apocrypha, in the edge, he said, man, y'all gonna bring up monsters. Y'all gonna deliver monsters. Other scriptures in Isaiah say your children gonna be like wild bulls caught in a net, hanging on every street corner. That's in the book. Y'all seen with the drama that just jumped off out there in Fraser? So they're gonna be like wild bulls caught in the net. Evil doers, a seed of corruption. That's what the Most High say about y'all. Well, me too, but I'm in there too. But I'm gonna be lessons. So I'm gonna use y'all for the example. That's what he said about y'all. But I'm in there too. Skip down, bro. Verse 14. What do it say? I'll go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
They have forsaken the Lord. They have broken the Holy One of Israel, and they are going away back.
And when the Most High get mad, some get broke. Some get broke. He says, shall there be evil done in the city and the Lord have not done it? He said, I kill, I make alive, I wound, and I heal up. He said, I create good and I create evil. The Most High, I do all these things. So when he get mad, something get broke. So when the drama pop off again, don't be looking crazy. You better repent and get back in line and take that butt whoop. Skip down to 14. What do it say, bro? Yeah.
Your new moons.
Your new,
and your appointed feet.
Now these are one of the appointed feet that the Most High appointed. But look what he say about it.
My soul hate.
He what?
Hate.
Now how can he hate something he told you to keep? He gonna tell you why. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I will hide my eyes from you.
And no ain't no, oh Lord, bless me, praise the Lord. He said, when you spread forth your hand, I ain't even looking at that. Keep that. Miss me with that. Basically what he's saying. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. The Lord hears sinners pray. The Lord love everybody. Ain't what I just read. He said, when you stretch forth your hand at me, I ain't listening. I don't want to hear that. He said, I'm tired of listening to you, matter of fact. Go ahead and read. Why? Now, you may not have killed nobody physically, but you slander your brother and sister. You murder your brother and sister with your tongue. Popping off on the phone, talking about them, gossiping about them. That's the spirit of Cain that's on you, brother or sister. You are murderers. We can read that, but go ahead and read, bro. Make you clean. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Cease to do evil. Do what? Uh-huh. Right. Mm-hmm.
Widow. Come now, let us reason.
Come now, let us reason together.
Saith the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow.
Uh-huh.
Though they be red like crimson.
Uh-huh. Now he's going to say the biggest little word in the English language. What's the first word in that next verse? Yeah. If all the promises of the Lord are conditional. He said, I can wash you and make you clean. If it ain't no, he gonna love you in spite of yourself. Ain't gonna be nowhere, Lord know my heart. Yeah, what do the book say about the Lord knowing your heart in Jeremiah? He said it's above all things is deceitfully wicked. So yeah, that ain't gonna wash you. Go ahead and read. If you what?
If you be willing and obedient,
he
said eat the good of the land.
He gonna bless you in spite of yourself. Go to the next place. Isaiah the 52. Gotta make yourself clean. Gotta keep yourself clean. God does not deal with filth. He even told Moses to tell the children of Israel when he was coming down on Mount Sinai and that eggs, he said, man, look, tell the people to wash their clothes and tell them don't even come at their wife. He ain't want you coming at your wife when you, because when you had that seed of copulation pass, you become unclean. He told them when they in the camp, man, tell them to clean this place up around here. I can't walk through the camp and it's nasty and stuff like that all over there. So the Lord don't deal with filth. He don't deal with unclean hands. He don't deal with unclean minds. So you can fool yourself all you want to. Just because you up here on the high Sabbath day, keeping the letter of the law, he just told you, I'm weary of your new moons and your feet. Because you ain't keeping them right. Your mind ain't right toward your brother and your sister. Your mind ain't right toward the work of the Most High. We're finna hit these streets in a couple of weeks. We're finna do some street teaching. I probably gonna have 5 brothers and sisters riding with me, but we're gonna go out there and do the work. But I know it's more than 5 brothers and sisters in this room right now. I'm gonna keep it 100. Where we at, bro? 52 and what? 52 and 10, read it. 10 and 11, what do it say?
The Lord have made burn his holy yours in the eyes of all nations.
Yes, sir.
And all the ends of the earth to see the salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Depart ye, depart ye.
Depart ye, depart ye. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Don't get involved with nothing that's contrary to the Most High God. Go ahead. Uh-huh. That bear the best vessel of the Lord. So if you're going to bear the vessel of the Lord, you got to be clean. You can't have no hate and malice in your heart. No, you can't be practicing willful sin, sleeping with this one, sleeping with that one, and then gonna try to put it up under the guise of polygyny. Well, the Lord said I can have more than one wife. You ain't taking care of it. The book say if you gonna have more than one, it said her clothes and her food shall not diminish. She over here riding Mercedes and she over here getting Snapchats. Bro. You still unlawful. If you're gonna deal with that, you're gonna have to deal with it lawfully. So you unclean, you can't bear the thing, look. And I'm gonna say this here. I got to say, you got a lot of brothers standing behind the roster on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath day, dealing with these sisters treacherous, running straight through the daughters of Zion. And ain't got no remorse for it. Go to read what Malachi say about that. He gonna get you. He gonna split your wig to the white meat. Where we at, TJ? Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10. You know what? All right, I'll tell you what, go to Romans 12. We're gonna skip that. Go to Romans 12. Y'all can read that one on your own. Let's go to the new book. Let's go to the book of Romans, the 12. We're gonna read two verses. Romans the 12, and we're gonna read 1 and 2. Romans the 12. What do verse 1 say, my brother?
I beseech you, therefore,
brethren, go ahead.
by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies
a living sacrifice. It only makes sense for you to do this. This is your reasonable. It only makes sense for you to do what you've been called to do as children of the Most High Yah. Anything you doing anything other than that, it don't even make sense. Can't nobody else in this world backslide but Israel, because Israel was the only one the covenant was given to. It wasn't given to nobody else. You're the only one that can backslide. So it only makes sense for you to do this, because if you don't do this, then the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26 gonna fall on you, as they have fallen on us already. And they're gonna continue to beat your head until you get in line, or he's just gonna be done with you. Because once he give you over to that reprobate mind, you finish. Ain't no coming back from it. Don't believe me? Go read it. Romans 1, Zephaniah 3, old and new. Go to the next place. Read that verse 2.
Be not conformed to this world.
Be not conformed to this world.
But be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Oh, so now I know how I got to sacrifice to the Lord. I got to change this thing right here. I got to change what's going on between these ears right here. How I think, how I deal with my brother and sister, how I move, how I vibrate. I got to change this. Go ahead, bro.
And he may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Let's go to the next place. Let's go to Exodus. Let's look at a little prophecy of the remnant. Exodus to 23. Exodus, bro. Pick it up at the 16. Exodus to 23 and 16. We're gonna read 16 through 19. I'm sorry. 16 through 19. J in the building, the Shalom, all my brothers and sisters online. Exodus 23 and 16. What do it say, my brother?
And the feast of harvest.
And the feast of who?
Harvest.
The
first fruits of thy labor.
Yay.
Yay.
And the feast of Ingathering. These three feasts he told you had to appear before him: the feast of harvest, the feast of first fruits, and the feast of Ingathering. Once again, how are you going to separate the high days from the harvest? You can't. He said the feast of harvest, unleavened bread, the feast of first fruits, Pentecost, or the feast of weeks, and the feast of Ingathering is tabernacle. You cannot separate the feast from the harvest, because the Lord is trying to show you when it's harvest time, you're going to get what you got coming. Simple and plain. As whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And if you don't reap no righteousness, you're going to have to wait around to the second resurrection to see if you're going to get in. Go ahead and read, bro. You 16. Start up. Yeah, go ahead.
And the feast of harvest, the feast of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors.
Go ahead, brother. Yes, sir.
3 times in the year, all thy males shall appear before the Lord God.
3 times again. Did you read that 19?
19. The first fruits of thy land shalt thou bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk.
And why he told don't see the kid in the mother's milk? Because that was a custom of the heathen. That was a custom of the heathen to take the kid, the first kid, and boil it in milk. He tell you to roast it with fire. You know why he tell you to roast it with fire? Because see, when you see something in milk, it's watered down. But when you roast it with fire, you burn off all the impurities. That's why he said, present your body as a living sacrifice. See, the Lord is teaching us through these prophecies. We ain't paying no attention. Don't try to serve me your way. Ain't no such thing as you serve God your way, I serve God mine. That ain't what he said. You don't go to your job and tell him, look, man, I know you told me to do this here, but I ain't gonna do it like that. I'm gonna do it my way. You fired. And guess what? You keep messing with him, he gonna put you in the fire. You keep messing with the Most High. You don't do it your way, you do it his way. Not yours. Where we at, bro? Exodus go 34. Exodus 34, what do it say? Go to Exodus 34 and 18. Exodus 34 and 18. But brother, I see you reading all these scriptures, but I still just don't think, I don't feel we shouldn't. What the book say? Go ahead, bro. 34 and 18. What do it say?
The feast of unleavened bread shall thou keep 7 days.
Yeah.
Thou shalt eat unleavened bread. I commanded thee.
As I asked thee, suggested to thee. Okay, go ahead.
At the time of the month 8.
Yeah. And we did that. We had that Passover and the unleavened bread in the first month of the year, which for us was in the middle of March or whatever. But go ahead and read. Did y'all catch that? All that's in the first resurrection is the Most High. All that's in that first harvest is the Most High. You in the kingdom. Go ahead and read. Yeah. Yeah, with the who? Who is our lamb? Who is our redemption? Continue to read.
Thou shalt redeem.
Anything that you didn't offer up to the Lord that was his, he said you're gonna break his neck and get rid of it because it ain't no good in that. Go ahead and read, bro.
And none shall appear before me.
They ain't told you again. Don't come empty-handed. Continue to read.
6 days shall thou work. On the 7th day thou shalt rest.
Yeah.
Here in time and in harvest thou shalt rest.
Yeah.
Thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of the first fruits of the wheat harvest.
Go ahead, brother.
And the ingathering at the year's end.
Hey, did y'all hear that? The wheat harvest. He said, let the wheat grow with the tares. He said, in the end, I'm gonna separate them. Because, hey, if you a tare, we won't know. It's probably some tares in here now. Y'all can get mad if y'all want to, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's probably some tares in here now. But y'all looking for. Sisters got the head covered, got the dress down to the leg, everything. They looking all holy and pie. Brothers got the fringes on, got the big necklaces on. You look just like the wheat. We ain't gonna know until the end. When that first resurrection, when he tell them to thrust in that sickle, he said, I'm gonna separate them then. I'm gonna do the separate. I'm gonna know, I know who they are. I know who the fakers are. I know who they are. Continue to read, my brother.
Says, thrice in a year shall all your men children appear before the Lord God.
He keep telling y'all that he trying to make it plain. Go ahead and read.
I will cast out nations before thee.
And
enlarge thy borders.
Wait a minute. Now we back to Israel going back home. So all those fake Jews over there, all them Khazars and Edomites over there, they got the road. He's, I'm gonna cast out nations before thee. Go ahead and read, brother. That's right. Hey, that's enough on that. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna cut that short. Go to John, the 20th chapter. Go to John. I'm gonna cut that, bro. Go to John, the 20th chapter. John, the 20th chapter. We're gonna get in the new book. Make it plain. John, the 20th chapter. I know you're probably sitting down there. He just making up stuff. Well, we finna read. We finna read. Y'all know how we do it. We don't say nothing that we can't prove throughout the reading of these scriptures. John 20, bro. Pick it up at the 1. We're going to read verses 1 through 7, then we're going to skip. What do it say?
First day of the week, Mary Magdalene early.
What day is this? Ain't this the first day of the week? Okay, I just want to double check. Go ahead, bro. When it was yet dark. Mm-hmm.
She runneth and cometh to Simon Peter, the other disciple whom Yeshua loved.
Yeah.
And saith unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre,
and
we know not where they have laid him.
Yeah.
Peter therefore went forth, and that other disciple came to the sepulchre. So they ran both together, and the disciples did outrun Peter, and came first to the sepulchre. And he stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in.
Right.
Then cometh Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeth the linen clothes lie,
right,
and the napkin that was about his head, not laying with the linen clothes.
So the clothes are there. Jesus is sure he's gone. All those defiled garments he got on are left right there in the graveyard. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you ain't got the right covers on, you ain't got the right clothes on, if your linen ain't white and clean, you're going to be left in the graveyard come first resurrection time. Skip down, bro. Skip down to verse 11. Is that right? Yeah, skip down to verse 11. Skip down to verse 11. What do it say?
Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down, looked into the sepulchre.
Right.
And see two angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yeshua was laying. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? She saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him.
Go ahead, bro.
And when she had said, she turned herself back and saw Yeshua standing.
Yeah. Continue to read.
Yeshua said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? She, supposing him to be the gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him thence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away.
Wait.
Yeshua said unto her, Mary. And she turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni.
Oh, Master, go ahead.
Which is to say, Master.
Don't touch me. Now, a lot of folks were getting their feelings about that. Don't touch me. But if you unclean, you can't. We read in Isaiah, who the better vessels of the Lord have to be clean. We unclean. He said, don't touch me, but there's another reason why he told don't touch it. What? Go ahead, bro. No, he said, I have not what? He said, don't touch me because I have not yet ascended to my Father. Here is the wave off. He has to go before the Lord, the Father, to be presented as acceptable for what he's done. We had the Passover. Who was the Passover? You had Christ with the Passover. On the third day that we read over in Genesis. Now he has to go before the Father, be accepted. Then he'll come back, and then he's going to give y'all some more instructions on how you're supposed to live. Pentecost. Then when it's time for the year of Jubilee that you read over in Leviticus 25, then you can make the first resurrection. These are the things that the Most High is teaching us when we read these scriptures. But if you're looking at it through that Sunday Christian lens, you're looking at it through that Roman Christianity lens, you're going to miss it. Because the first thing they're going to tell you, you're going to heaven. The second thing they're going to tell you, the Lord know my heart. The third thing they're going to tell you, can't nobody keep no law. Well, I don't think God is that stupid to give you something that you can't keep. Go ahead and read, bro.
And I said unto my father,
Mm-hmm.
go to my brethren and say unto them, I said unto my father.
I said unto my father and your father. Yeah. Go ahead.
Spoken these things.
No, that's all I wanted on that. But he had to go be accepted before the Lord, before the Father, before she could touch him. This is the first fruits. This is the wave offering at the beginning of the first fruit feast, or the Feast of Weeks. He is the first of the first fruits that had to be waved before the Lord, or the Master, or the Father, to be accepted. Deuteronomy. Now we're going to deal a little bit, you know what? We're going to deal a little bit with the Spirit, the outpouring of the Spirit. Deuteronomy 33. And we got a few more after that. Deuteronomy 33. And we're going to read verses 1 and 2. Deuteronomy 33 and 1 and 2. I think that's what I want. Yeah, that's it. 33, 1 and 2. 33, 1 and 2. When you get it, my brother, go ahead and read.
And this is the blessing. Moses, the man of Yah, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them.
And did what?
He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of his saints.
So he recalling them back when the law was given in Exodus 19 and 20. He said, hey, when the Lord came down upon that mount, he came down with 10,000 of his angels. Again, when he come back, he ain't coming back to do no nice little talking and hug everybody. When you was in the street, you clicked up with your boy. Was y'all going to talk to somebody? So what you think the Most High gonna do when he click up with his arm? He ain't coming back to talk to nobody. He coming to set the record straight. And y'all know what the scriptures say what he gonna do. But go ahead and read, bro.
From his right hand.
From his right hand. Now, who was the Most High's right hand? Yeshua. It said from his right hand came a fiery law. And when I got it in the lesson, y'all go back and read. But when he came down on Mount Sinai, it was fire, it was smoke, it was earthquakes. They didn't get the law. Thus said the Lord, brother. No, hey, this what y'all gonna do. This what y'all better do. He didn't come down there, brothers and sisters, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. And the earth was moving. It was fire. It was smoke. They said the smoke was like a smoke of a furnace. He wasn't coming down here. He said a fiery law. You think he was doing some suggestions then? When he said, don't covet your neighbor's wife, brothers? No, he wasn't doing no suggestions. So when I look at this brother white walking past me, that's evil unto me. That should be evil under my eyes. I shouldn't be looking at that brother white, bang, bang. Oh boy, I bet she's something. No. And he wasn't talking soft when he said. So the fiery law that came down, and then look, you had all the elements in play. You had earth, wind, and fire. The earth was quaking. The smoke and everything was blowing. The mountain was on fire. He was trying to get their attention. And guess what month did it came in? The third month. What month are we in, brother? Ain't we in the third month? That's it. That's it. So go ahead. Yep. That's right, bro. You can go read it, Exodus 19, the third month again. So now you're looking at, not only you got the first fruit, which is Jesus. Not only you got the harvest that represent the first resurrection, you got the fiery law or the spirit of the Most High coming with 10,000 angels coming down. Hey, I'm trying to get y'all attention. I'm trying to show you something that's going to give you everlasting life. But we ain't going to read that for the sake of time. We ain't going to read that Exodus 19. But go back and read it. It'll tell you in the third month. But we're going to see something else happen in the third month. Go to Joel. Go to Joel. Yeah, the 2. Joel the 2, verses 1 through 3, brother. Joel the 2. Joel the 2, verses 1 through 3. And then we're going to skip. Joel the 2, verses 1 through 3. Look at what it says. Let me get there. Stop running my mouth. Go ahead.
Know ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Yeah. Now, when Yeshua came down on Mount Sinai, when the trumpet blowing, they said the horn waxed exceeding loud. So the Spirit of the Lord was there. But he said, blow you the trumpet in Zion. Continue to read.
Sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Now, why are you sounding alarm if ain't nobody in trouble? It ain't something, nothing about to happen. Something to happen. Warn the people. Go ahead.
For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is not at hand. A day of darkness and of glooming.
Not sweet Jesus. He said a day of darkness and gloominess, just like it was on that mountain. Go ahead.
A day of clouds and of thick darkness.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Shall be any more after.
Yes, sir.
Even to the years of many generations.
Even to the years of many generations.
A fire devoured before them.
Oh, what? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
And nothing shall escape them. But go ahead, skip down to verse 10. What do it say?
Verse 10, the earth shall quake before them.
The earth shall quake before them.
The heavens shall tremble. And the sun and the moon shall be dark.
Yeah.
And the stars shall be drunk with fire.
Hey, he came with 10,000 of his saints. The same thing gonna happen again. The Lord ain't got to change his game. We ain't nobody that he got to change up for. When he comes the second time, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be dark, it's gonna be fire, and he coming with his arms, and they coming to crack necks and snap checks, and they ain't gonna be playing when they get in. So you best have yourself together when he come back. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
For his what? There it is again. For his army. I ain't never seen nobody with no army come and talk to nobody. Go ahead, brother.
For his camp is very great.
Yes, sir.
For he is strong to execute his word.
Yeah.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
Yes, sir.
Who can abide?
Who can abide in? He asked the question. Go ahead.
Therefore also now, says the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fast.
And with what?
With fast.
Okay, go ahead.
And with weep.
And
with mourn.
So hey, when you turn to the Lord, you ought to be feeling sorry about something you said, done, or thought, and you better turn to him with fast. And we underestimate the power of fasting, brothers and sisters. We underestimate the power of fasting. We need to do a whole lot more of that these days, because some of us got some stronghold, and as Yeshua told the disciples, some of these things only come by fasting and prayer. Some of the things you've been trying to shake so you can present your body a living sacrifice, you ain't gonna be able to shake it without some fasting and prayer. The Spirit is not gonna come upon you without no fasting sometimes. You got to turn that plate away and cry out, like he said, with weeping and mourning to get some things changed. It ain't gonna change. You say, oh Lord, just please forgive me. No. Some of these things only come by fasting and prayer. And every Pentecost, if I don't see it, the Lord need to be seeing the difference in every Pentecost, because you're supposed to be trying to live unleavened. But continue to read, brother.
And bring in your heart and not your garment.
Bring in your mind, change your mind and not your garment. Go ahead and read.
And turn unto the Lord your God.
Yeah.
For he is gracious and merciful.
Yeah.
Slow to anger and of great kindness.
Yeah.
And repent him of the evil.
And repent. Skip down, bro. Skip down to 28. What do it say? Now, if you do all this, after you get yourself together, it ought to be an outpouring of the Spirit. After you fast and pray, it ought to be an outpouring of the Spirit. What do it say?
And this shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my Spirit upon our.
Yes, sir.
And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions.
Now, if the Lord ain't dealing with you, then guess what? I'm gonna hear the same stuff out your mouth every day. if he ain't dealing with you. You hear me? I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I know it's a lot of stuff we've been teaching over the last couple of weeks about Israel and the Gentile. But hey, these are the last days. He said, I'm going to pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons, whether they be 26 or 30, going to prophesy. And your daughter. Man, one of the greatest things I saw in my recent memory as far as with sisters, because sisters, I'm going to say something, y'all get mad. Women are too competitive. They way more competitive than brothers. Because y'all inventory each other from head to toe. Then y'all go to each other's house, y'all inventory the house. We don't get, look, long we got a box to live in, some shoes off, so we straight. But one of the greatest things I saw over the last couple of weeks, the sisters of the ministry, when they got together, and man, they was in there just talking and doing stuff, and man, putting stuff together. Like, man, me and Brother Water sitting out in the garage, we like, hey, that's cold right there, bro. I ain't seen that in a minute. Wasn't no arguing going on, wasn't no this, that, and the third. It was just beautiful to see the sister, the daughters of Zion, taking care of the Lord business. So, and I'm gonna say this, y'all sisters, y'all gotta check each other. And when y'all check each other, don't come out your feelings, come out this right here. I ain't saying, well, sister, you did wrong. Hey, go through the protocol. Y'all know the protocol. Go to their sister. If she done offended you, you go to her. Don't hold and let it fester. All right? Then if she don't want to hear you, go get another sister. You go back to her. Look at sister. Sister says she got accusations against you. Blase, whatever. If she don't hear y'all come get one of these, teach one of these elders. Look here, brother. This is what happened. I got a witness. I went to it twice. Then guess what? The book say, hey, man, you put them before the elder. Then they don't want to hear the elder. You put them out. Turn them over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the soul may be saved. Ain't that what it say? So, hey, the love I saw, I want to keep seeing it. Because one of the sisters brings on me, y'all know, Brother T, I'm rude in speech. I'm very rude in speech. And I ain't finna let nobody tear this ministry down. If I can help, if I got breath in my body, and I know the other elders and teachers here feel the same way. We talk about y'all all the time. Y'all just don't know. We watching. We looking. We seeing if the spirit is on y'all. The spirit, y'all to help me. Y'all got to have the spirit on y'all too. But go ahead and read, bro.
And your daughter shall prophesy.
Yeah.
Your old man shall dream.
Right.
And your young man shall speak. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids and those
yes,
that pour out my spirit.
Pour out his what? Spirit. Go ahead and read, bro.
And I will show wonders in the heavens.
Yes, sir.
And in the earth.
What he gonna show?
Blood.
Same thing he showed on the mountain. What else? Same thing he showed on the mountain. Same thing he showed on the mountain. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't sound too hot, too lovey-dovey to me. Is that it on that, brother? That was it on the 32 one. Go ahead.
Whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered.
Yeah.
For in Mount Zion.
For where?
Mount Zion. And in Jerusalem shall be delivered.
So if you can't make it to the kingdom, you ain't got no deliverance coming. And we done been over that over the last couple of weeks in the class about the deliverance. It ain't gonna come from Pastor Pork Chop laying his hands on it. Just ain't gonna happen. And just cause my teacher say, if I hear that one more time, I'm so sick of hearing that. Bring me some scriptures, man. That's why. Bring me some precepts. I don't want to hear nothing about what your teacher said, about what he think and how he feel. What do the scriptures say? Anytime somebody start out, when you having a biblical discussion, and they start out about what Big Mama and what teacher said, just turn around and walk away. Because it ain't going to give you no edification in that conversation. None. Zero. If they ain't taking you chapter and verse and precept upon precept, just walk away from it. You wasting your time. Because my opinion don't matter just like their opinion don't matter. All that matters is these scriptures. Where we at, bro? Acts 2? All right, go to Acts 2. Then we got 2 more after this. I'm going to cut it short. Acts 2. We got 2 more after this. Acts 2. And we're going to pick it up in 1. Then we're going to read verses 1 through 8. Then we're going to read 11 through 24. Then we're going to cut it short, bro. And we're going to read 2 more verses after that. Acts the 2, y'all. What do it say, my young brother?
The day of Pentecost was fully come. They were all with one accord in one place.
Why were they on one accord? Because Yeshua told them after he came back from being way before the Father, he said, hey, man, y'all go and wait for the promise. You see what I'm saying? So they were all on one accord. Now, I'm going to ask the question again. Are we all on one accord on this feast day? That's a question you got to ask yourself and ask. Are you on one accord? Because if we was on one accord, the Spirit ought to fall down up in him. So that's just a question you have to ask yourself. Go ahead and read, bro.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Yeah, also it filled the house. Go ahead and read.
And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as a fire, and it set upon each of them. And they were filled with the Holy Ghost.
They were filled with what?
The Holy
the Ruach HaKodesh. Go ahead. Now this one no, we ain't got time to go. This one no babbling and murmuring. That's God, straight God. He's gonna tell you what it was. Go ahead and read. Wait a minute. Jews from where? So there wasn't no Gentiles out of every nation. Wasn't no Hamites. Wasn't no Moabites, Edomites. These were Israelite men up there keeping the feast from other nations. Again, where's the Gentile at the feast? He ain't here. Read it.
And when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
So that was the tongue, the different languages that they heard. They just heard them speaking in the language where they were born in, because they were Jews from every nation. Go ahead and read. Yep. That's it, bro. That's it. Well put, my brother. Yeah.
And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
Right.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born?
Now, it said devout Jews out of every language. This one in the lesson. But read verse 9, bro.
Parthians.
So you had people from Parth, you had people from Russia, because that's what Medes is. Media is Russia. Go ahead.
Elamite.
They were dwelling in India. Go ahead and read. Africa. Go ahead. So they were in the nation of Israel, but they went in Jerusalem. Go ahead. Oh, they up there inside with Chittim and all them, right? Go ahead and read. And so even though where the Moabites live, you had Israelites living there. They just didn't speak Hebrew. That's why the fiery tongues came to the disciples. And when they started talking, those guys could understand what they were saying because they were speaking in their language. They could hear it in their language. It wasn't no shabba, all that guy. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't coming to no Hyundai and all that old man. He wasn't doing all that. They were speaking these different languages that opened their mouth. The angels gave them the utterance. And the brothers that were from the Israelites that were born in different countries could hear the gospel of the Messiah in their language. You come over here speaking to me in Hebrew, fluent Hebrew right now, trying to teach me the gospel, I ain't gonna know what you say. But if you come speak to me in English about the gospel of Yeshua, now I know what you're talking about. Just like if I was to leave here now and go to Jerusalem for the feast and they start speaking in Hebrew, I ain't gonna know what they saying. That's what that was. But skip down, bro. Skip down to verse 11. What do it say?
Greeks and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of Yah.
In a what? In their language, the wonderful works of God. Go ahead and read.
And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another,
Yay.
What meaneth this? Others mocking said, These men are full of new wine.
Yeah.
But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken unto my words. For these are not drunken as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third hour of the day. But no, this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel.
Now he's going to quote what we just read in Joel. What did he say, bro?
And it shall come to pass in the last days.
You just got your marker when the last days started. Because Joel prophesied about the last day, didn't he? So the last days started on this day, Pentecost. What the first resurrection gonna start? On the Day of Atonement, right? And it's gonna mark the first resurrection, and it's gonna mark the changing of those who have fell asleep in Christ. So you just got your marker for the last day started these. Go ahead and read.
God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaidens will I pour out in those days my spirit, and they shall prophesy.
All right, hold up, bro. Skip down to verse 21 for the sake of time. What do I want to get now? 22. I want to get this straight for the last time. I don't want to touch on this no more. What do verse 22 say?
Ye men of Israel,
you Gentile, you Moabite, you Edomite. I don't want to deal with this no more, y'all. Now, who he talking to? All right, that's it on that. Go ahead and read.
Hear these words. A man approved of Yah among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know, him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of Yah.
Foreknowledge of God. This thing was ordained before the world was began, or the world was created. Go ahead and read.
Ye have taken and by wicked hand,
yes, sir. Crucified. And what do verse 24 say, bro?
Whom Yah have raised up, having loosed the pains of death, because it was not possible that he should be holding up.
That's it. Last two places. Go to Matthew 24. The gathering, the harvest. Let's read it. The gathering of the harvest. Let's read that real quick. Matthew 24. Y'all got the other scriptures on the table. Y'all can go back and look at them at your leisure. I admonish you to go back and read those to get the full understanding of this lesson. But for the sake of time, we're gonna do a little skip. We're gonna leave some of these out. If you got any questions after the class is over with, once we turn out, then hey, we're gonna do that. Matthew 24, 3 and 6. 3 through 6? What do it say?
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
He asked him 3 specific questions. Because they were talking about the temple. He said, hey, what's going to be the sign of your coming and the end of the world? Now, he's going to give y'all this information. It would behoove you to pay attention. Go ahead and read.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take ye heed that no man deceive you.
Now, he just gave you one thing straight out the gate that you need to pay attention. This is in blood. Don't let nobody fool you, big mama, pastor, teacher, Mo Ray. Don't let nobody fool you, man. First thing he told me after they asked the question, he said, take heed that no man deceive you. Go ahead, bro.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am
Christ. Jesus. Yeshua. Oh, I love the Lord. You don't do nothing he tell you. He said, if you love me, keep my command. They're going to come in his name. They're going to give you the name. They ain't going to give you the doctrine. They're going to give you his name all day long. From Sunday to Sunday, they're going to call out his name. They ain't going to give you the doctrine. Oh, you ain't got to do no more commandment. Oh, brother, you can go there and sleep with the sister. Lord know your heart.
Same on the Israelite side.
It is. Same on the Israelite side. Ain't no difference. Yeah, teaching me Hebrew, but you ain't telling me how to keep no law. Telling me how to transgress the law. Right. Well, brother, you got your beard looking good. You got your fringes on. You set. Come on, bro. He just told you he dealing with this thing up here all the time. But continue to read, my brother.
And ye shall hear of many wars.
Many wars.
Hear of wars,
Uh-huh.
and rumors of war.
That is rumors of war.
See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
So he just told you, they can fight, they can bomb, they can shoot, they can kill, but the end ain't yet. So when y'all looking at the news, y'all be stressing out on what's going on news, just dismiss it. It ain't nothing cracking, ain't nothing popping yet. Go ahead.
But nations shall rise against nations.
People against people. Go ahead, brother. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We seeing that, ain't we? We seeing that. Tornadoes everywhere, earthquakes everywhere. We see it. He said, still it ain't time yet. Go ahead.
Oh, these are the beginning of sorrow.
Oh, these just the beginning of the bad time. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Problem. Problem. For what? What, they gonna kill me for loving Jesus? Yeah. Y'all got it easy right now. Them brothers and sisters over there, they catch it. Them Israelites over there, they finding out what it really means to be a soldier for the Lord. But y'all got your big car, nice house. You can go worship Jesus, say Jesus Christ. It ain't. It's coming. It's coming. You better have your mind right. You think he said that for nothing? That's in blood. That's in red. Y'all don't believe in Jesus? Y'all don't believe in Yeshua? He said it's coming. You better get your mind right. Because when they step to your door, we had some Israelites, had some Jesus believers in there. Some Yeshua believers in there. You gonna take this mob? No, I ain't gonna take this mob. What? You gonna take this mob now? You see your partner head rolling down the street, don't you? That's what it's gonna be. If that's what he just said. And it's gonna be the church folk that's gonna do it. It's gonna be the church folk that put Yeshua on the cross. Same ones coming for your head too. Go ahead and read, bro.
He shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
For loving Jesus, you're gonna be hated. Go ahead.
And then shall many be offended.
And many gonna be offended.
And shall betray one another.
Hate one another. Yeah, it's gonna get real then. We're gonna see who yelling Yahoo then. We're gonna see. It's gonna be plain and evident who gonna be hollering Shalom then. We gonna see. It's easy right now. Go ahead, bro. We got a load of them. Go ahead. Ain't gonna deceive many, boy. Where you at right now? Skip down to 15. Skip down to verse 15.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place.
Stand where?
In the holy place.
Now, to all my brothers and sisters who don't know who the abomination of desolation is, it will behoove you to find out. Because they real close to building the temple. And if you don't know when he's standing in the holy place, you in trouble. Yes, sir. 2 Thessalonians 4. Yeah. You better find out who the abomination of desolation is, the man of sin. You better find out who he is. He said, when you see the abomination, desolation stand in the holy place, do what? Run! You better get to running. You better get to moving when you see this cat, because he's going to be the one that's going to tell you to take that mark in your right hand and your forehead. And if you don't, that's when you're going to get your wig split if you don't. You better understand who this guy is. He's sitting over there, got the little funny hat on his head, got the big cross on his head, everybody calling him the holiest man in the world. But he's straight evil. That's who he is, that office. May not be this one, maybe the next one. But just keep your eyes over there on that. He gonna show himself. They call him the vicar of Christ. Vicariously died, the replacement for God's son. That's what he called himself. Y'all catch it. Just look at him on TV, the little booty bandits over there. Y'all know who he is. They love the boy. They love him. You see him? They spend $22 million a year selling out of court. Yeah. That's what they do. Go ahead and read, bro. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, let's skip down to the gathering of the people. Skip down, bro. Skip down to 20. Get down to 29. Y'all go back and read the rest of this on y'all. Skip down to 29. What do it say?
After the tribulation of those days.
So much for the rapture. Jesus gonna come, the rapture is all out. I'm gonna go off to heaven and everything gonna be all right. It said immediately after the tribulation of those days. Then what?
Will the sun be dark?
We back to the sun being dark again. Go ahead.
And the moon will not give her light.
Same thing we read in Joel, ain't? Go ahead, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and what? Oh, they crying because Yeshua coming back, Jesus coming back. I thought everybody was gonna be happy when he got here. No, go ahead. Wait a minute. Can he come with 10,000 saints with angels and with a trumpet? Same thing again. We keep reading the same thing over and over. Go ahead and read, bro. There go the first fruit. They gonna gather his elect. The harvest time. Gonna gather his elect from the four winds. Go ahead and read.
From one end of the heavens to the other.
That's that on that. Let's go to Matthew 13. It's gonna be the last plate. Last plate. I know y'all hungry. Y'all smell that food. I do too. I'm gonna jump to the front of the line. Matthew 13 and 24, brother. Matthew 13, and we're gonna start at 24. We're gonna read 24 through 33, then we're gonna skip. All right. Matthew 13, verse 24. When you get it, my brother, go ahead and read.
Another parable he put forth with them saying,
the
kingdom of heaven is like unto a man who sowed good seed in his field.
But
while men slept,
don't get caught sleeping. Go ahead.
His enemy came and sowed tares on the wheat. And with his weight, and the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit. Then appeared the tares also.
Did you catch that? But the blade is sprung up. It's gonna be a harvest time. But then, like I say, hey, if you don't believe me, if you could ask Yeshua or Jesus, ask him. There's a Judas in every circle. One of them sitting here today. I ain't got my finger on him yet, or her. But he said the wheat was growing up and the tares grew up with it. Go ahead, brother.
So the servants of the household that came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field?
Did you plant some good seeds out there in that field? Go ahead.
From whence then had the tares?
How did the tares get in among the wheat? Because the book tell you they come in privately. Go ahead, brother.
He said unto them,
An enemy have done this.
The servant said unto him, without then that we go and gather them up?
No, don't do it right now. Go ahead.
That's why he gathered up the tares, also the wheat. They both grow together until the harvest.
Until the wind? Until the harvest. Let them both grow together until the harvest time. Go ahead and read, bro.
And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, bind them in bundles to burn them.
To do what?
Burn them.
You go into the lake with the snake. He said, when you gather them tares up, get all them over here. You know, sheep's on one side, goats on the left. Get them together and bind them hand and foot and throw them in the fire. Go ahead.
But gather the wheat into my home.
Yes, sir.
Another parable he put forth. Saying, is like to a grain of mustard seed the man took and sowed in his field.
Right.
But when it is grown, it is greatest among herbs.
Yes, sir.
And becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. And another parable he spake unto them. The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven.
Is that like unto what?
Leaven.
What? Go ahead.
Which a woman took in 3 measures of a meal to the whole leaven.
See, guess what? Them secret sins gonna get you in trouble. Leaven represents sin. The woman took the leaven and she hid it, and man, the whole thing got messed up. Them secret sins, that's why David prayed that. He said, keep back thy servant from secret faults. See that evil eye? Can't nobody see no evil eye. Because when you look at under eye and sideways, I don't know what you think, but the Lord do. See that when you got that secret leaven, them secret sins, that's what's gonna get your head whacked. So you need to clean your mind up, brothers and sisters. Clean your act up. Get ready to receive the Spirit from the Most High, the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, and be ready for the harvest. That's the lesson. I thank you for your time. All right. We're gonna add Brother Charles. Brother Charles, you come up and bless the food, bro. And then after you bless the food, then we'll turn out. You don't mind, my brother. You want the mic, man? No. You on the mic? You sure you on the mic, man? Sound better on the mic. Don't get the mic there, brother. Don't hook us up with the tow truck, man. Don't bless the food, man. Yeah, we're gonna stand and face room, then do the Lord prayer. Get that short, sweet, baby. That's what we want.
Lord, please, we're going to receive. Thank you for bringing us together as a family.
Yes, sir.
As a nation.
Yes, sir.
Israel.
Yes, sir.
Jesus' precious name we pray.
Jesus' precious name.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah. All right. So y'all, it's on y'all now. I'm done. We're gonna get we're gonna get the elders first. Hey, y'all, we're gonna let the elders eat first. Let the sisters get back.